Today's Mass readings and Gospel reflection. December 22, 2020. The Tuesday of the fourth week of the Advent. First reading. A reading from the first book of Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 24 to 28. In those days, Hannah brought Samuel with her, along with the 3-year-old bull, an ephah of flour, and a skin of wine, and presented him at the temple of the Lord in Shiloh. After the boy's father had sacrificed the young bull, Hannah, his mother, approached Eli and said, "Pardon, my lord. As you live, my lord. I am the woman who stood near you here, praying to the Lord. I prayed for this child, and the Lord granted my request. Now I, in turn, give him to the Lord. As long as he lives, he shall be dedicated to the Lord." She left Samuel there. The word of the Lord. Responsorial Psalm. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 1, 4 to 8 ABCD. Let our response be, "My heart exalts in the Lord, my Savior." My heart exalts in the Lord. My horn is exalted in my God. I have swallowed up my enemies. I rejoice in my victory. Response. My heart exalts in the Lord, my Savior. The bows of the mighty are broken, while the tottering gird on strength. The well-fed hire themselves out for bread, while the hungry batten on spoil. The barren wife bears 7 sons, while the mother of many languishes. Response. My heart exalts in the Lord, my Savior. The Lord puts to death and gives life. He casts down to the netherworld. He raises up again. The Lord makes poor and makes rich. He humbles, he also exalts. Response. My heart exalts in the Lord, my Savior. He raises the needy from the dust. From the dung heap he lifts up the poor, to seat them with nobles and make a glorious throne their heritage. Response. My heart exalts in the Lord, my Savior. Gospel reading. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Luke chapter 1 verse 46 to 56. Mary said, "My soul proclaims the greatness of the Lord. My spirit rejoices in God my Savior. For he has looked upon his lowly servant. From this day all generations will call me blessed. The Almighty has done great things for me, and holy is his name. He has mercy on those who fear him in every generation. He has shown the strength of his arm, and has scattered the proud in their conceit. He has cast down the mighty from their thrones and has lifted up the lowly. He has filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he has sent away empty. He has come to the help of his servant Israel, for he remembered his promise of mercy, the promise he made to our fathers, to Abraham and his children forever." Mary remained with Elizabeth about 3 months and then returned to her home. The Gospel of the Lord. Before we proceed with the video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Also, please hit the notification bell, so you won't miss out when we release new videos. Feel free to share your comments, suggestions, and reflections at the comments section down below. Thank you and God bless. Now, let's proceed with the video. The reflection on today's Gospel. The Canticle of Mary was one of the canticles of the community of the first Christians. It reveals the level of awareness or consciousness, and the firmness of the faith which animated her interiorly. Sung in the community, this Canticle of Mary teaches us to pray and to sing. Mary begins by proclaiming the change which is taking place in her life under the loving gaze of God, full of mercy. Because of this, She sings joyfully, "I rejoice in God, my Savior." Afterwards she sings of the fidelity of God toward his people and proclaims the change which the arm of the Lord was realizing on behalf of the poor and the hungry. The expression "arm of God" reminds us of the liberation of the Exodus. This is the force of salvation and of liberation of Yahweh which bring about the changes. He has rooted the arrogant of heart. He has pulled down princes from their thrones and raised up the lowly. He has filled the starving with good things, sent the rich away empty. At the end, Mary recalls that all this is the expression of God's mercy toward his people and the expression of his fidelity to the promises made to Abraham. The good news is not seen as a reward because of the observance of the law, but rather as an expression of the goodness and fidelity of God to his promises. This is what Paul taught the Galatians and the Romans. The Song of Mary is the oldest Advent hymn. It is at once the most passionate, the wildest. One might even say the most revolutionary Advent hymn ever sung. This is not the gentle, tender, dreamy Mary whom we sometimes see in paintings. This song has none of the sweet, nostalgic, or even playful tones of some of our Christmas carols. It is instead a hard, strong, inexorable song about the power of God and the powerlessness of humankind. The canticles are the thermometer of the life of the community. They reveal the degree of consciousness and commitment. Examine the canticles of your community. Analyze the social conscience which comes from Mary's canticle. In the 20th century after Christ, it is said that this canticle was censored by the military of Latin America because it was considered subversive. The Lord raises the poor from the dust. He lifts the needy from the dunghill to give them a place with princes, to assign them a seat of honor.